The adventure and science fiction story begins with humans discovering a unique planet after years of research in space. This planet is inhabited by strange and terrifying creatures. These creatures are so dangerous that they continuously attack Earth with the help of large rocks around their planet, and there will come a time when this planet will combine with Earth and completely destroy it. Therefore, all the countries on Earth unite to form a committee, which will consist of a combined military force from all over Earth. This military force will fight against these creatures. We see a large group of soldiers being sent to the other planet to fight these creatures. These creatures do not have a proper structure and can be of various types, spread across the entire planet. The soldiers, equipped with weapons, are fighting the creatures, but the number of creatures and monsters is so high that the soldiers cannot stand their ground. To understand how these terrifying creatures came into existence, we need to go back in time. In the university, we see a professor teaching his students. The professor's main motivation is that while education is important, it is meaningless if Earth does not survive. Therefore, he motivates each of his students to join the military and soldier departments to strengthen their forces. We see a student named Rocco in the class who pays no attention to the professor's words and instead showcases his talent elsewhere. The professor scolds Rocco for this behavior. However, Rocco comes from a very wealthy family and ignores the lectures and professor's words. Rocco only attends college because of Tyler, a very bright student in the class whom Rocco secretly likes. On that day, the exam results for all the students were out. As usual, Tyler received 90+ marks, while Rocco, unfortunately, scored only 35 marks. Rocco's friend Ben came to cheer him up, saying that he would get better marks next year. Rocco was somewhat happy about this, as he was at least passing. In fact, Tyler studied hard because she wanted to become a pilot. One day, there was a big rugby tournament at the university, and, of course, Rocco was playing in it. During the match, a student named Tom approached Tyler to talk. When Tyler learned that Tom had already been selected for the pilot department, she began to get closer to him, thinking that she might advance with Tom's reference. Rocco, on the other hand, was very jealous to see Tom near Tyler. He didn't like the idea of Tom being around her at all. Rocco went up to Tom and told him not to hang around his girlfriend anymore. Tom, extremely angry, challenged Rocco. In the game, Rocco ended up beating Tom badly, which led him to win the match. This small jealousy actually helped Rocco in the game. Rocco thought that if this was the case, he should aim for the Olympics and that Tom should always keep bothering Tyler. Rocco was sure he would win a gold medal. Now, Rocco told his family members that he wanted to join the soldier department, but his father warned him of the huge risks involved, as attacks from dangerous creatures had increased significantly. However, Rocco insisted on going there no matter what. Rocco's mother realized that Tyler might also be going to the same place, which was why Rocco wanted to follow her. They couldn't force Rocco, as most wealthy children are very arrogant and insistent on their decisions, ignoring any objections. But these arrogant boys forget that the money they are squandering actually belongs to their parents, and without their parents, they wouldn't have anything. Rico, along with his friends Ben and Tyler, went to the military headquarters for admission. Interestingly, all three were assigned to different departments. Due to Tyler's excellent marks, she was assigned to the pilot department. Ben was assigned to the laboratory department where he would conduct research on the creatures. Rocco was assigned to the soldier unit that would fight against these creatures. The three friends said their goodbyes to each other. After some time, we see Rocco undergoing rigorous training in a large military base. Soldiers were being recruited on a massive scale, as if preparing for a major war. A strict colonel was training Rocco's entire unit. A soldier named Leah, who used to be in Rocco's class, had also joined. Leah liked Rocco, but Rocco was unaware of this. The colonel began training all the soldiers, providing hardcore training in fighting skills and techniques to protect themselves. The colonel then asked the soldiers to aim using a small knife. Everyone was focused on aiming properly when one soldier questioned the need for these small knives, suggesting that with guns and machine guns, they could handle the aliens and creatures. The colonel, in a serious tone, instructed the soldier to stand by the wall. The colonel then struck the soldier's hand with the small knife, causing him significant pain. The colonel, removing the knife, said that if there is an enemy in front, we must attack with whatever we have, without worrying about the weapons. Otherwise, our lives could be lost forever. The soldiers became somewhat fearful of their colonel due to his intense behavior, but this was crucial for improving their training. Meanwhile, Tyler was receiving all the training needed to fly a spaceship. She was very skilled at it. Tyler also met Tom, and they quickly became friends. Notably, Tyler was enjoying herself a lot without Rocco around. Rocco wanted to prove himself as a good soldier through rigorous training. The colonel divided the entire team into two groups, the red team and the blue team. Everyone had fake laser guns, and both teams had to reach and capture the flag first while avoiding getting hit. The soldier who successfully captured the flag would become the leader of the unit. Rocco devised a brilliant strategy with his team. They carefully planned their approach, with some soldiers protecting the others while some advanced toward the flag. In the end, Rocco skillfully avoided all the laser beams and captured the flag. Impressed by his performance, the colonel made Rocco the unit leader. Rocco felt extremely proud at that moment. He wanted to share this achievement with Tyler, but then he received a message from her. In her message, Tyler said she had settled in well, but their relationship couldn't progress further. They had to end their relationship there. Rocco felt deeply saddened by this news. He didn't know what to do since he had come there primarily for Tyler. However, the members of Rocco's unit supported him, and he decided to focus on the family he had found in his unit rather than dwelling on what he had lost. Rocco and his team dedicated themselves to even more rigorous training. The next day, the colonel set a task for the entire unit. Until now, they had been practicing with fake guns, but this time, the challenge would involve real guns. Rocco, now the leader of the unit, had to guide his team through this task. They would encounter many plastic soldiers armed with real guns on their way and had to reach the other side without taking any damage. Rocco and his team followed their plans meticulously. Continuous firing occurred from both sides, but the soldiers advanced with precision. Suddenly, one soldier's helmet got stuck, and he couldn't see anything. Rocco immediately went to help him and managed to remove the helmet. However, in the next moment, a deadly laser shot hit another soldier in the head, killing him instantly. Rocco was deeply troubled by this incident. Due to this mishap, the colonel and the managing directors decided to demote Rocco from his leadership position and reassign him as a normal soldier. Additionally, as a punishment for the soldier's death, Rocco was to be publicly flogged. The colonel relentlessly beat Rocco for his mistake. After this, Rocco decided that he was not cut out for this place and should have listened to his parents and stayed where he was. He realized that he should have continued working in his father's prosperous business and not come here. Rocco had not only failed to find Tyler, but also felt unsatisfied with his situation. Just then, their video call was abruptly disconnected. Rocco thought it might be a network issue, but when he stepped outside the military base, he saw many soldiers watching TV. The news reported that the creatures had attacked and destroyed several cities on Earth. Rocco was shocked to learn that his own city, where his parents lived, was among the attacked areas. It was reported that no one had survived in that area. This news was devastating for Rocco, as he realized that his parents were likely dead. Overcome with rage, Rocco decided not to return home, but to join his team of soldiers and fight the creatures. The colonel once again accepted Rocco into his team, recognizing that he was a good soldier despite his earlier mistake, which had cost an innocent soldier's life. They needed to fight the dangerous creatures. All the soldiers began preparing for the attack on the creatures. Meanwhile, Rocco's friend Ben, who worked in a laboratory with scientists, shared his research on the creatures with the soldiers. Ben revealed that a single bullet to the creatures' brains would instantly kill them. So, they needed to focus on targeting the brains of the creatures and monsters. Rocco gathered his entire team in one place, and it was surprising to find Tyler there as well. Rocco was thrilled to see Tyler after such a long time, but he soon realized why Tyler had deceived him when he saw her with Tom. Tyler had developed feelings for Tom, and Tom began to humiliate Rocco in front of Tyler to put him down. Rocco, unable to tolerate this, attacked Tom in a furious rage. The fight between them was intense, and it seemed that all the soldiers were enjoying the spectacle. However, Rocco ended up severely injured in the fight. Rocco was sent to the hospital for treatment. The only ones who stood by him through this difficult time were his friends, who motivated him as a team to recover. Among them was Leah, who had feelings for Rocco. Rocco and his team members got matching tattoos on their arms to symbolize their bond. Afterward, all the soldiers gathered, boarded the spaceship, and headed towards the planet. Tyler and Tom's team piloted the spaceship. After traveling through space for several hours, they reached the orbit of the new planet. However, as they ventured further into the planet's orbit, fireballs began to rain down from the sky. Everyone thought this was due to changes in the atmosphere, but the truth was that the dangerous creatures living underground were gathering energy to attack the spaceships. As the fireballs hit the spaceships, they split into two pieces. However, Tyler and her team managed to land many of the spaceships on the planet. The soldiers exited the spaceships and began attacking the creatures under the command of their team leader. The planet was inhabited by thousands of terrifying creatures. The soldiers, armed with weapons, focused on targeting the brains of all the creatures they encountered. These creatures had large, sharp claws, similar to crabs, and they would completely devour any soldier who came in their way. At one point, it seemed like the soldiers might be able to defeat these creatures, but more and more creatures kept emerging from the planet's surface, as if there were factories of these creatures underground. After hearing the news of a high number of soldiers being killed, all the team leaders ordered their soldiers to return. Therefore, the soldiers began boarding their ships to return to Earth. However, a very dangerous creature confronted Rocco, and it managed to strike his leg with its sharp claws. It seemed like Rocco might not survive this creature. The scene then goes blank. When the soldiers returned to Earth, they were deeply disheartened because they had lost many of their comrades in the attack. The names of the deceased soldiers were displayed on the screen, and Tyler and Tom noticed Rocco's name among them. Surprisingly, Rocco was still alive. He had been in a coma and was receiving treatment in a medical facility. Rocco had a large cut on his leg, which was being slowly treated. When the team learned that Rocco was completely safe, they all went to the medical facility to support him. During this time, Rocco only needed the support of his friends. Tyler was not needed, though she would eventually become his true love. A few weeks later, Rocco was fully recovered and discharged. He and his remaining team members were reassigned to a different battalion, as all the soldiers who had gone with Rocco to attack the creatures on the planet had been killed. Rocco and his friends felt fortunate that they had survived. Their new commanding officer was none other than the professor who had previously taught Rocco and his friends. The professor motivated all his team members on how to defeat the creatures. Following this plan, their entire battalion headed back to the second planet. First, they carried out an aerial attack on the creatures to make the landing position safer. The initial step was very successful. They managed to eliminate several groups of creatures this way. Their second step was to eliminate as many creatures as possible once they landed. The professor, Rocco, and the entire battalion focused on attacking the creatures' heads. Suddenly, a massive creature emerged from the ground, significantly larger and more terrifying than the others. However, Rocco did not lose courage. He leaped onto the creature's body to handle it alone. Although Rocco fired numerous bullets into the creature's body with his gun, it had little effect. Then Rocco pulled out a grenade and threw it into the creature's wound. In no time, the huge creature's body exploded. The professor could hardly believe that his most ineffective student had become such an excellent fighter. He felt incredibly proud of Rocco. After eliminating all the creatures present, the soldiers' battalion headed towards the military base in Paris. They had received information that all the soldiers at the base had been killed by the aliens, but they proceeded to check the base anyway. Upon arrival, the professor noticed a large hole in the soldiers' heads, indicating a dangerous creature that was consuming human brains. Suddenly, a massive army of alien creatures attacked the military base. Their army included creatures that crawled on the ground and ones that flew in the air. They continuously attacked the professor's soldiers. All the soldiers took out their guns to fire at the flying creatures while simultaneously trying to stop the crawling ones. This caused significant problems as some soldiers' attention was diverted, leading to the creatures killing and devouring them. Amidst this chaos, the same dangerous creature emerged from the ground once again. The creature had pulled the professor inside. Rocco and the others tried to pull the professor up, and although they managed to get him to safety, they discovered that the creature had eaten both of the professor's legs. The professor was in unbearable pain and pleaded with Rocco to end his life. However, before the professor's request could be fulfilled, the dangerous creature emerged again and began attacking the soldiers. Leah demonstrated immense bravery by throwing a grenade into the creature's mouth, which resulted in the creature, resembling a giant beetle, exploding completely. Leah was very pleased with this outcome. Tyler and Tom then arrived with their spaceships to evacuate the soldiers. As Leah was preparing to leave, she forgot that there were still other creatures present. One of them approached her with its claws ready to strike. Rocco fired at the creature to save Leah, but it was too late. The creature's sharp claws penetrated Leah's body, causing severe injuries and uncontrollable bleeding. After killing the creature, Rocco carried Leah to the spaceship for treatment, but she passed away on the way. Back at the military base on Earth, Rocco was furious. He wanted to avenge his fallen friends by eliminating the creatures. He held a memorial for his deceased soldier friends. Soon after, Ben, who had done extensive research on the alien creatures, approached Rocco. Ben revealed that there was an alien creature on the planet that consumed human brains and was likely the queen of all the creatures. Ben suggested that Rocco's battalion should return to the planet and capture the alien queen so that he could study its structure and develop a way to eliminate all the aliens. Hearing this, Rocco found hope that he could finally avenge his fallen friends. So, Rocco quickly assembled a new team to return to the planet. He trusted Tyler and Tom to control the spaceship, so his entire battalion set off for the second planet to launch the attack. Tyler and Tom knew that once they brought the spaceship into orbit, the creatures could attack them with fireballs. They had trained extensively to avoid these attacks. As they maneuvered deeper into the orbit, Tyler made a slight mistake. Due to a lapse in attention, a fireball struck directly on the spaceship, causing it to break into two pieces. All the soldiers were being pulled through space. Tom and Tyler managed to escape to a small spacecraft, which began to descend directly to the planet's surface. Tyler immediately radioed Rocco to inform him of their critical situation. However, the spacecraft soon crashed into a large mountain, and Rocco quickly began locating Tyler. When Tyler and Tom reached the cave inside the mountain, they were surrounded by numerous creatures. Despite their best efforts to fight off the creatures, it seemed to Rocco that Tyler might have been killed. Once Tyler's location was determined, Rocco, along with some soldiers, set out to enter the cave. Upon reaching the cave, Rocco's team found multiple paths. He sent some team members down one path, while he took another route. Meanwhile, Tyler and Tom were surrounded by creatures that seemed to be celebrating something. Soon, a massive and dangerous creature emerged from a large hole. This creature was the Queen, who controlled all the other creatures. The other creatures had been tasked with capturing humans so that the Queen could consume them. Now, the Queen extended a large tentacle from her mouth. The creature's Queen inserted a tentacle into Tom's head, absorbing both his brain and blood, which caused Tom to die instantly. Now it was Tyler's turn. As the Queen attempted to insert her tentacle into Tyler's brain, Tyler managed to cut it with a small knife. This caused the Queen immense pain, and she became enraged, determined to kill Tyler. Just then, Rocco arrived with the rest of his team, holding a dangerous bomb. He threatened the Queen, saying she must release Tyler or the bomb would explode, killing everyone. The Queen, possibly having given internal commands to the other creatures, retreated into a large burrow, while the creatures went berserk, attacking the soldiers and Tyler. The soldiers tried to push back the creatures with coordinated firing, but their numbers kept increasing, making it urgent to escape. A wounded soldier took the bomb from Rocco and insisted that they leave. This soldier had decided to sacrifice himself to save everyone. Although Rocco was reluctant, the soldier urged him to trust him and take the others out of the cave. Once Rocco and the other soldiers had exited, the wounded soldier activated the bomb, causing a massive explosion that killed all the creatures in the cave. Rocco managed to save his soldiers and Tyler, and they extracted the dead alien Queen from the cave. They placed her in their spaceship and returned to Earth for further research. In a way, the soldiers had achieved success. They had captured the mastermind of the dangerous alien creatures. With the alien Queen gone, the creatures would no longer have a leader. Upon returning to Earth, it was shown that the Queen was subjected to bizarre experiments, indicating she was on the brink of death. Rocco was pleased to have Tyler back in his life, and thus, our story concluded here.